Noma's moving into this new zone. These were, the abuse allegations were in a place of, we only had the previous pieces. We were still kind of in this place of Rene maybe not fessing up the most. There weren't that many repercussions that he was maybe experiencing. The New York Times piece talked about this idea of him stepping into like a head of creative or creative director type role. And I distinctly remember covering that because I thought that it was like a very big transition or change, or kind of like a departure from I'm executive chef or I'm owner of Noma. Number two, this is thankfully more congruent with what he said he was going to do. When people can count on you to follow through on what you say that you're going to do, there's a little bit of that I think people crave, your team craves. And maybe the flip side of it is when that's missing, or when it feels like there's a flip-floppiness that's happening, that's where the frustrations kind of stem from. I think that there is still this large cohort of people who want Rene to be completely exiled from the organization. Because if the abusive behavior was tied to Rene being in this position of the hierarchy, the responsibility that falls on his shoulders, and then most importantly, the thing that like where the rubber really meets the road, and that thing that gets chronicled in some of these New York Times pieces, is when the stress is too high, the overwhelm reaches a tipping or boiling point, pardon the pun, and then Rene doesn't have, as I've shared in previous episodes, the skill set, the support, the willingness to ask for help in order to overcome or behave in a way that I think is in the team's best interests, in the way that he could potentially be the quote unquote best version of himself as the chef of the organization.